We're currently in the province of Guizhou in China. Decided to come here to start this collection with our team because there's so much to be shared, and I know that as much as we are inspired, I want others to be inspired from this work.
在唱在呀。
我们很想让你们创造你们自己的设计，在这个纽约的设置的衣服。村子跟城市一起，你自己想怎么画就怎么画。好。
What I think is interesting about fashion, though, is the way that it influences culture. And culture dictates everything. These are things that drive values. They're a reflection of what we care about and how we want to be perceived. Can we use coolness as a currency to make indigenous ways of being, making, and creating relevant? And that's exactly why we created RURBAN by Root Studio.
以前老人就说猫和老虎它们是养凶的。
The story behind this cat is that it's brothers with a tiger. One day, the tiger asked the cat to go to the human world and collect fire from a grandmother's house, where the grandmother was cooking rice. The grandmother fed the cat a bowl of rice and beans, which the cat found so tasty, he forgot to collect the fire, which upset the tiger. This folk tale is a larger metaphor where new generations may have tasted something new and forgotten their traditions. Be careful of feeding cats rice, because once they've tasted something new, it's hard for them to return home. Miao Indigenous work and the imagery of a lot of the Indigenous communities, there are some consistent themes. So many different elements that the design represents actually comes from their Indigenous lifestyle as farmers. So there's so much wisdom in all these stories, and it's not just imagery. Beauty, the wonder, the whimsy that comes out of this work. There's a lot of hope and wonder that exists across so much of the stories and the artwork that's out here.
蓝染的水，我们叫它蓝宝宝，就是它是有生命力的，万物之灵的孩子。
喝米酒，给他老人吃，他才有力气，明天他才能帮我们干活。
I think being out here, it's such a good reminder of how much sustainability is actually a connection to the land and the place that you're in. They're living in coexistence and in harmony with the land. Even in this house, every single day what we eat is what they've harvested. Everything that we don't finish turns into food for the pig that goes back to the ground. Even this house was built by hand. These trees were planted by Zhang Guoyun, who owns this house. There really is no waste here. It's a completely circular system and circular economy.
放在这里，就是接近大自然的那种感觉。这个东西就是我现在这个东西，它就是银花。苗族是没有文字的。 那当然就是我们记录我们苗族祖祖辈辈的一生。对大自然的话，我们是敬仰它、尊重它，然后它又去滋养我们、抚育我们。经历里面所传承的那种东西，能够让我就回归到这里。 就不会在那种大千世界里面跟着人海就是漂流。
所以对很多农村人，这个天气变得有很大的影响吗？
啊，对对，你看这个考验就是这里这个考验就是太阳太大了，今年不下雨，它就已经晒成这个样子了，它就没有了。
I think we're talking so much these days about carbon removal and carbon emission, talking about climate change. creating solutions that will help one part of the supply chain is just a band-aid. It doesn't change the fact that we are all over-consuming and this planet has structurally changed because of overconsumption. So what we actually need is to recognize what we have here, the people who have already been living sustainably with the planet for so long, and also how these people can teach us to live with less but with more value in relationship. Everyone needs to figure out how to make a living, and this is especially true also for rural areas where farming is not consistent income anymore because the climate has changed so much. So how can we continue to support and encourage these lifestyles is really one thing that we look at Root Studio.
姐，好久不见。
哇，来到这里了。
我们想你啦，莎莎。他说酒很好喝，他说可不可以带回来美国给你尝一下？我们都很爱你，我们都很想你哈。你争取明年回来哈，明年回来找我们啊。
Is so much more powerful to remind ourselves that we all share the same human experience, that we share the same earth, the air, the land, the oceans. That's what we're hoping to do with RURBAN by Root Studios, to bridge cultures, to transcend something that's beyond us representing one country or another. It's really about representing humans and individuals with different cultural ways of being and thinking and identities. On the other side of the planet, if I can learn and expand my curiosity, like this is just going to be better, and all for a planet in balance, for diplomacy and for how we understand each other, more so than what our politicians or news can do right now.